What is going on YouTube, and welcome to part number 2 of the Shopify store creation process. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, make sure you guys go and check that one out first, or I'll put a link in one of the corners. That being said then, if you have seen part 1, thank you very much. The feedback on that video has been absolutely awesome, so please keep that coming. And that being said then guys, without any further ado, let's get straight into it. What's going on then guys, and welcome back to my computer. So before we jump straight into it, I'll just go over a quick recap of what we've already covered. This is the document that we're working from and the process that we're actually going through. So in part 1 then, make sure you go and check that one out guys if you haven't seen it yet. I covered how the actual business model works and functions. We went over briefly how to pick an ideal niche and product, and then we got into the creating the store process. But before we got into that, I just kind of went over the kind of strategy or the overview of the kind of store that we were creating. So we're doing a general store. There's 3 collections, 10 products per collection, and 1 main product per each collection. The process then, and where we actually got up to, was I finished showing you guys how to install Oberlo, the app, and import products from AliExpress. This was the one and only products we did. I didn't feel like it was necessary to show you how to import each and every product. Recording a video showing you guys how to import 30 products would just be too long and too boring. And plus the process is the same for one than it is for each and every other one. Now I showed you how to do the hard work. You can simply just copy and paste this whole description, use exactly the same layout, because you want the whole store to be uniform. You want every product page to look the same, and then obviously you just adjust the features and the actual product description to match the product. So that being said then, we'll move swiftly on to the next step in the process, which is choosing a theme. And as you can see then, there's a question there which says, are free themes okay? So I get asked this question quite a lot. It's quite a popular question. People asking me whether they need to pay for a theme. Is there an advantage to them? And in my personal opinion, you don't need to pay for a theme. 100% you will be more than fine on a free theme. All of the stores I've ever created in the past have only been on a free theme. Now, that's not to say there's not an advantage to paid themes, because in many ways they do function better. What I'm saying is that as a beginner, then they're not necessary. Don't feel like you're going to be losing out or you can't succeed without paying for a theme. The only situation in which I would recommend actually paying for one is if you're trying to sell really high ticket items. So if you're trying to sell products that are consistently over, say, £100, then I would recommend investing in a paid theme, because they generally tend to look more professional. And if you're trying to sell more expensive products, then you need your website, your Shopify store, to look as clean and slick and professional as possible. But in any other case, then choose a free theme. They're more than adequate. So the standard theme that they kind of set us up with, I believe, is called the debut theme. So as you can see then, the current theme. So if you do want to change your theme, then all you do is you click on online store on the left here, as I just did, and it's going to take you to this screen here, which is basically your themes tab. So the standard one that we all start with is debut, and to change your theme then all you need to do is, as you can see here, it says free themes and explore free themes. Now when it comes to choosing a theme, then simple tends to work best. And I don't mean the actual theme simple, I just mean try and keep the whole layout and the whole kind of sense and idea of your Shopify store as simple as possible. Don't try and overcomplicate things, because ultimately we want to make the whole navigating of our website as quick and easy as possible. When it comes to people coming onto our store, then the easier and quicker it is for them to buy something, then the better chance we have of them buying something. Because in today's world, we live in a world where people get distracted so easily. There's so many things going on in people's lives. If you just think about browsing a website on your phone, if you're on that website for 2-3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, then the chances are in that time frame you're going to get a notification from Facebook, a message on WhatsApp, maybe a phone call, an email. And every time a notification comes in, then that's potentially a hindrance to somebody buying something on our store. It's potentially something that's going to distract them and take them away from buying something. So the quicker somebody is capable of making a purchase on our store, then the better. So that's why we need to keep the whole purchase process as simple as possible. So which themes are the best then? So there's a few that I recommend. So I'll just work through them now with you. Venture is pretty good. I like Debut as well, which is also the standard one that we've been given. And there's also one more, this one, Supply. Supply is also pretty good. In fact, I've got a couple of my stores using this theme. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to stick with the Debut one because I believe it to be the simplest. And in terms of customization as well, it's pretty good, as I'm about to show you. So back to our Google document, and choosing a theme is done. So we'll tick that one off. I haven't said it yet, but any questions at all on literally anything, even if it's things in the past process, then make sure you leave your comments down below. The whole point of doing this series is to try and help you guys get started in your business on your journey as soon as possible. So any questions at all that might be holding you back, feel free to leave a comment down below. So next step in the process then is product collections, and there's a reason we have to add these first before we actually go ahead and start customizing our theme. Make sure you stay tuned because that will all become apparent. So product collections, and how do we create them? Again, a dead simple process. Most things on Shopify tend to be pretty simple. So we're just going to click on products over here on the left, and then we're going to go down and click on collections. This is going to take us to our page here, and as you can see on the right then we've just got this button here that says create collection. So it's dead easy, just click on that, and what we're going to do is we're going to call our collections basically our niches. So we're going to have a dog collection, and we'll call it Dog Lovers. It's just a bit more friendly and fun rather than just putting dogs or dog items or dog stuff. It's a bit warmer and friendlier to people who own dogs and essentially will love their dog. So Dog Lovers. So moving down the page then, it's going to take us to this collection type box, and it's very important that we actually fill this out because in the long run it's going to save us a lot of time. In the first video then I spoke to you guys about product tags and why they're important to use, and this is where they come in handy then. So there's two options then, and what this pretty much does is it allows us to set conditions relative to this product collection. So we have a manual option, which is basically where we add each product manually to a collection, and then we have the automated function, which is the one we're going to use. And what that does then is any product tags in this box, any products that get imported from now on, including past products that have this product tag, will get added to this collection. So in the previous video then we imported that dog bed, which had the tag of dog. By the way, you can add more than one product tag per product. So say you want to create a sale collection of items that are on sale, you can just use the product tag of sale, but as it was a dog product then we used the tag of dog, and then make sure you click save. And what this is going to do then is it's going to create the collection. It's going to go through all of the products you've imported, and any products with that dog tag will get added to this collection. So if we go back to the collections and then go back into it, it should now show the dog bed, which it does here. So for the sake of this video then, I'm going to go back and create two more collections quickly, just so we can fill out the menu screen on our home page. So we'll have a couple of random niches. We'll have a baby niche, so we'll have baby items, and then the product tag will obviously be baby. Baby items created, baby is the product tag. Back to collections then, and we'll create one more, and this can be, let's have a bike collection, and we'll add the product tag bike. Let that save. Back to our collection. So we have our three product collections as we mentioned earlier. We're going to have three collections and then 10 products per collection. So next step in the process then is adding pages. These are the additional pages that every decent store needs. So these are going to be our FAQ pages, our About Us pages, terms and conditions, refund policy and privacy policy, which I mentioned here. And then later on in the video, we're going to go ahead and fill them out. The reason we want to add them now then is because in a minute, we're going to be adjusting the navigation of the site and setting up where the menu items are. And to do that, they need to be pre-created. So adding pages then, we'll just go ahead and create these 5 pages here. So we'll create the About Us and FAQ pages first. And then to create a page then all you do is you go onto online store on your left, click on pages, and then simply go ahead and click add page. So we need an About Us page, click save, go back to pages, click add page. We want an FAQ. And then I'm going to go ahead and click duplicate actually and see if we can just call this, let's call it refund policy. And Then we'll duplicate it again, call this one our terms of conditions. And then one more, which is going to be our privacy policy. Privacy policy. Later on in the video, I'll be showing you guys how Shopify actually give you like pre-written ones that you can use on your site, so we don't actually have to manually type these out or get them from anywhere else, but I'll be showing you that later on in the video. So adding pages, then we've done that, we can tick that one out, and now we're going to go ahead and complete the home page. And to do that, we want to make sure we've got the menus at the top looking good and suitable to what we want. So to do that, then, as you can see, still over in this online store menu, we want to click the navigation tab. And what this section then allows us to do is basically create where our menus are. So you have the footer menu, which is essentially everything in this gray area here. And then we have our main menu, which is, if we go back to our home page, essentially everything above this kind of grayed out area here. So it's basically these menus and the search bar and everything up here. So back to our navigation menu, we'll start with the top end menu then. And what we want to put on this main menu then is we want to make, and like going back to the earlier point of making it as easy as possible for people to buy products and basically find whatever information they need. Rather than have a catalog button, we'll get rid of that, and we're going to have a new menu item, and we're going to have our product collections up here. And that way, when a customer comes onto our home page, they can see straight away what kind of products we sell, and they can click on the button and go straight to those products. So we have baby items. And then if you click on this box, it gives you a whole list of different options that you can link it to. So if we go and click on collections, as you can see, we can click baby items. And that's why we needed to pre-create those product collections before we did the navigation settings. So go ahead and click add. I'll just go ahead quickly and add the other product collections as well. So we have bike items, collections, bike, and then of course we've got our dog lovers. And then if we click save menu, then essentially when we go back, we'll refresh this. As you can see, we've got our product collections at the top now. And then if all's working well, if we click on dog lovers, it should show us our dog bed, and there you go. So there are two other pages or menu items that I want to have at the top because this is quite common information that customers tend to seek, and that is the about us. As people want to know who we are, and again, as you can see, we've got a pages option here, and because we've pre-created these, we can just go ahead and select them. And then I also want the FAQ button at the top as well, because when people are coming onto our site, because we're a business that they've never heard of, the chances are they're going to have questions, and this is where we're going to put them in the FAQ page. So we'll click add then, make sure you click save, and we'll just refresh this to double check. And as you can see, brilliant, we've got those added there. Now we're going to go ahead and add the other pages to the footer menu. So it's exactly the same process then, we just need to make sure we create them on the footer menu section. So we had our refund policy then. And as you can see, you just select page and select the corresponding one, refund policy. We want our terms of conditions. Now it's very important you actually have these on your site, because if you look at any other e-commerce company, then they will also have these, because people want to know that you're legit and you've got the required information and policies in place, and they want to know what your refund policy as well, especially being a new company that they've never heard of. They want to make sure that they can get their money back if they need to. And then the last one was the privacy policy. Pages, privacy policy, we'll go ahead and add them. Again, we'll click save, just double check that they've now appeared at the bottom. And as you can see, there they are, and as you can see, they're clickable, but there's currently no content on them. I will be showing you later on in the video how to fill those out. So that's the adding pages section complete. Then we'll go ahead and tick that off, and next then in the process is complete the home page. Now there's a reasoning behind why I've put things in this order. As you can see, well, the reason I created it this way is I wanted to make it as time saving for you guys as possible, so you didn't have to keep going back and forth. So for example, you couldn't have created those navigation and those menus without adding the pages first. So if you are following along, just make sure you follow in the same order. So what we're going to do now then is complete the home page, and to do that we need to go into our theme editor. So we'll just go ahead on the left and click on our online store, and then we're just going to go ahead and click on customize, and this is going to take us back into our theme editor. So when we're creating our homepage, then when we're adding images, adding text, whatever it is, product collections, we want to make sure we keep checking how it looks like on mobile as well. From my own personal experience, most of my orders do tend to come from mobile users. So if anything, we want to focus on the mobile layout more than anything. So as you can see then on the left in our little side menu, we've got sections, and each section corresponds to a location on the home page. So if we click on header, it will give us all the different options that we have available on the header, and then we've got all these different sections here as well. So as you can see, the first section is this image with text overlay, which is this section here in grey, and then we've got featured collections and so on and so on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take you through what my recommended layout and setup would be. So to me then, in my opinion, the header looks pretty good. There's not a lot to change there. Having a look at a few different things. I'm not going to add a logo just yet, as we'll get into that when I start talking about logos and branding. This looks all fine to me. So I'm going to leave that as is. There's nothing that I would change there just yet. So we'll get into the bulk of it then. So anything pretty much below the header. And to start with, I quite like this layout. Ideally, you want a nice big image on the home page, and you want this to be of a certain product collection that you're trying to push, maybe even an actual products itself. Now, because I haven't got any proper really decent high quality images of a certain product, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a pretty generic photo of a dog, and then try and entice people to click on it using the text. So a couple of kind of navigate, or what the buttons do then, if you like. If you click on this, what it does is it pretty much hides it, and then you can click and drag as well. So as you can see, you can move the different sections around. So if we click on this first option, then it's going to give us the options that we can change, and what Shopify is really good is it does actually give you free images, and they're really big high quality images as well. But you can upload your own. If you click select image, then it gives you a chance to upload your own, or you can explore the free ones, which is what I'm going to do here. And this, by the way, in case you're wondering, is linked to this website here, which is burst.shopify.com, which are free high resolution images that you can pretty much use anywhere, completely license free, but you can actually do it within the theme editor as well, which is good. So if we search for dog, and we just want one of a dog that looks quite friendly, that's going to kind of pull on somebody's heartstrings and make them attach to the photo quite emotionally, and just make them feel good by seeing it, if you know what I mean. So pugs are pretty cute then. A lot of people like, in fact, let's go for this one. This one's quite different, and it's quite cute as well. So that looks pretty good. As you can see, they're really high quality, not pixelated at all, and I'm pretty happy with that actually. First go, let's try this one. Give it a second to load. I quite like this one, so let's stick with this one. This looks pretty good. We'll click select, and then we'll just change the text overlay. So as you can see then, we've got all these different options for the text overlay, and the objective then of the text overlay is to get people thinking about what we're saying and want to click on it, and actually want to know what we're doing or what we're selling. So you can change the image alignment. You can have it top, middle or bottom, but the dog lines up pretty nicely in the middle, so we'll leave it as is. And then heading wise, this needs to get somebody's attention, so it could be something along, let's try and capital lock, see how that looks. Check out our new dog items. It doesn't look too good. Let's try and keep it on one line. Let's try it without capital locks. Check out our new dog item. So by saying that, it will get customers wondering what our new dog items are. It will get them wanting to click on it just to see what they are, and then this is where we're going to try and relate to the customer. I'll try and get the customer to identify with what we're selling. So it could be something like 20%. I can't type today. 20% off for new customers only. So any new people coming onto our site, the chances are every person coming onto our site will be a new customer. So they might read that and think, I'm a new customer, I'm entitled to 20% off. Let's check out what these new items are. Let's make that bold. We could even have that in capital X as well, just to draw a bit more attention to it. Let's change this, see how it looks. That looks pretty good actually, quite slim. You can still see the dog clearly in the middle, and there's not as much wasted space then either. So I quite like that actually. We'll stick to small. Let's try medium text. Nah, it looks better with large. So as you can see, there's a lot of playing around, and you just want to go for whatever looks most pleasing to the eye. And then button label, obviously we want somebody to click on it and view our collection. So we'll have view now. And then the button link is going to take us to our collection page, which is going to be dog lovers. And as you can see, that color works pretty nicely as well. It stands out quite nicely without being too harsh or too bold. So that looks pretty good to me. So I'm just going to go ahead and click save. Wait for that to actually save. We'll head over to our site and just check out the home page now, see how it looks. We'll let it load up properly so it's not pixelated. So to me, I'm not too sure about that actually. Let's try it with a larger image. It looks better there because it's a bit more squished in. But let's go back to the medium height. Save that. Let's reload this and see how it looks. So to me, I think that does look better that way. You can see more of the dog, it's more eye-catching. And then when we click this now, it should take us to the dog lovers collection, which it does. So spot on, sorted with that. We'll head back then and move on to the next section. So my recommended layout then is a nice big image to try and entice customers to a certain product or collection. And then next up, we want the featured collections. So just in case they've missed them up here, we can have nice big images and clearly state what kind of products we're selling. So we'll get rid of this section here, then we'll add a new section. As you can see, there's loads of different sections you can add, and the one we want then we want to show people every kind of niche that we're involved in, or the products that we're selling. So we'll go to collection list, and as you can see then we're going to replace these gray sections with nice big images of the kind of products we're selling. So we'll add that. We'll have 3 collections, as that's what we've got in our store, and we'll change the heading to featured collections. Sounds just a bit better than collections list. Featured collections. And then this collection will be our dog lovers. This collection will be our bikes. And then the third and final one then we'll have as our baby items. We'll click save. And then we'll head back to our menu and we'll drag it up to just under our image. Got our image. Now, why isn't that working then? Why isn't that moved it up? We want it there. Let's get rid of this. Let's delete that. Image with text. And hopefully that will move it up. Remove section, and here we go then, featured collections. So as you can see then, the bike and baby item collection haven't got images. Now there's a couple of things you can do. You can leave it as is, and once you've uploaded products, what it does is it just shows the first product as the collection image. Or I'll show you guys, in fact, we'll go back to the Shopify backend and you can actually upload an image to the collection, and that's the image it will show. So if you go back to products, collections, and then just click on the actual collection, and as you can see on the right hand side you've got upload image, and what it will do is it will show that image as the image for that collection, if you like. So we'll put it in that box that we've just seen. So going back to the link I showed you earlier, burst.shopify, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download some nice generic images off here to put in that place. So just in case some of you guys are not sure how to do that, I'm going to show you how to do one, and then I'll skip ahead once the other two are done. So we'll just search for dog. Again, we'll get a nice friendly dog picture to use as the main image. As you can see, these are the same ones, the same options we had earlier. So we want to choose something different. Let's try moving on. Let's see what we've got on the second page. That's pretty cool. I quite like that. That's quite a cute picture of the dog with snow on his nose. So we'll download that then, high res. And then we'll go back to our collections page. We want to put that as the dog image. dog lovers, upload image. If we head into downloads, and this is the one, click save. We'll let that save. It's quite a large image, so it's going to take a while. Let's open up our store, and there it is. It's already uploaded. So as you can see, then it's nice, really nice picture, and it clearly illustrates what that whole collection is about. And it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut the video for a second and upload images for these two, just to try and keep the length of these videos down. So I'm back, and as you can see, then I've added 2 items for this, and it just makes the whole site look a lot better now. As you can see, it's starting to take shape now. It's starting to look like a really legit and decent store. And what I've done is I've changed the name of the collections as well, just to try and make them more appealing to the kind of people who would buy products within that niche. So we've got dog lovers now, cycling enthusiasts, and we've got baby items. So we'll head back then to our theme editor, and we'll just make the last couple of changes. Customize. And we need to check out how it looks on mobile as well, because that's important as well. So as you can see, then that doesn't look too appealing to the eye. What I would do in this case, I would have, let's try changing that, see if it affects it on mobile. No. So I would do that. I would do that then purely because, as I mentioned earlier, most of my orders do tend to come from mobile users, so I would have it like that just so it looks more appealing to the eye. Or if you're willing to put in a bit of extra work, then you can always have a 4th collection. In fact, I'm going to add a 4th collection. I'm not one to skip corners, so let's add a collection. Let's create a new collection quickly. What niche we have on this? What's a nice popular niche? Let's go for golf. So golfers, or we could call it weekend golfers, or golfing mad. Save that. We'll download a nice golf image. Let's get something quite, let's stick for this for now. One error. We'll create the golf tag. Upload image, save, and then back to our theme editor. And if we reload this, then it should come up with our 4th collection. It should look nice and appealing to the eye, and it doesn't. Let's go back and just add it quickly. It's still saving the image. There we go, golfing mad. So as you can see, then it looks a whole lot better now. We've got 4 decent images. And now we'll just double check it looks good on desktop as well. So we've got 2 big gaps there, so now we need to change that to make sure it suits both. So feature collection we want, let's scroll that back to 2. So that's desktop, and then let's try 4. So it looks good on mobile and looks good on desktop now too, so that's fine. Save that, and we'll head back. So below our featured collections, then this is where we want our featured product, the main product that we're trying to push, because we want to get as many eyes on it as possible. We're not going to have the slideshow just for now, so we'll remove that section, and we're going to add our selected products. So featured product, we'll add that. Let's select the products. We've only got 1 uploaded, but make sure you guys choose the right one. And as you can see, then it's added the actual product page to the home screen. Now there's a reason this is a good and effective tactic to use, because when people go to your product page, they might have a look around your site as well. They might want to buy the product, but just check out your site and make sure everything looks legit, just to satisfy themselves that they're happy to buy from you. So they might go to your home page, and if they do, then they're going to see that same product that they can buy on that page as well. So there's just a better chance of them actually buying the product there and then. So whatever product you're trying to push and you're focusing on marketing wise, make sure you add it to the home screen as well. So we'll save that, and then we'll have a quick look as a whole how our home page is looking. Let's check it out on the actual site, just so then we get a better full view of it. So looking pretty good then, pretty happy with that. And then I'm going to put something under this product page, actually, something just to round it off. Maybe let's see what kind of options we have. Usually I put something like some testimonials. If you've got some, great, I would definitely add those. If not, then you can add, what works well is if you add your Instagram profile, because then people can see that you're active on social media. But that's an app that you have to download. It doesn't come as standard. As you can see, there's no section here for it. Let's go with testimonials, because ultimately this is what we're going to have. And they're just really effective, and it's a brilliant method of creating social proof for your site. If someone is going fishing around your website looking for satisfaction that you're a legit business, and let's give it to them in an easy place for them to find it. So if they do land on the homepage and they end up scrolling to the bottom, they're going to see some testimonials and reviews from existing customers. And like I said, it's just going to create that social proof and put their mind at ease about spending money with you. So instead of testimonials, then it's pretty cold and just kind of standard. Let's put something that makes it even more obvious. So what our customers have to say. And then to simply edit a testimonial, just click on it and you can add an author's name and text, but obviously for obvious reasons, just make sure they're legit. And then you can have as many or as little as you want. And it adds this nice little scroll feature, as you can see. So let's save that. And that's pretty much the layout I use for all my home screens on all my stores. It works pretty well for me, but I'd love to get some feedback from you guys. Like, what do you think to this layout and this setup? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll always love hearing from you and getting some feedback. And it's nice to talk and start and strike up conversation, because everyone has a different opinion on things. So that's the homepage then, more or less done. We still need to fix this footer menu actually, so let's do that quickly. Payment icons, we'll add those as well. The more information we can give people, the better. I'm pretty happy with the color scheme. It's nice and clean and just kind of neutral. As you can see, these have been duplicated. We don't need two lots of those. So we'll remove the whole section, in fact. So we've got a quick links, talk about your business. We don't need that. If you were to include your address and contact details, those sorts of things, you could put that there. In fact, let's add those, because again, the more information we can give people, then the better. So contact us. We'd love to hear from you. And then in here, then we can just simply put our email address. If you want to put a phone number or an actual like premises address, then feel free to do that. Jack Kitchener 458 @gmail.com. And then your newsletter, we want to always put that. We want people to give us our email if we can, so we can put something along the lines of for the latest deals and offers, sign up below, and click save. And then we can add other things if we want, but to be honest, it's the footer menu, and to me there's enough information in there. There's all the important information anyway. So that pretty much completes our homepage then. Desktop wise, layout is good. We'll just double check it on mobile as well. Now, I'm fully aware that the 8 is overlapping, and it's kind of been annoying me the whole video, but I'll change that at a later date. It's not that important at the moment. That can be fixed once we go through and make all the final touches. But scrolling down then, it looks pretty good. People can scroll through images. Now that is a bit annoying as well, that the images are different sizes, so make sure they're uniform as well, because that will annoy your customers, and it doesn't look very professional. There's a lot of white space either side of this bed, so it is time consuming, but it's one of those things you have to do. You want to make your store look as legit and just flow as nicely as possible. I'm not going to show people how to do it in this video because it's quite a simple thing to do, but just if you're not sure, then make sure you let me know and I can include it in the next video. So moving on then, things still looking pretty good, pretty neutral, clean layout, very clear. The text all lines up nicely, spaced nicely. You can clearly see the trust badges, delivery, and then we've got our testimonials which you can scroll through, and then we've got all the relevant information in the footer menu as well. So to me then that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'd be happy to pretty much leave it like that actually. There's a few final touches we can make later, but for now that's good enough for me. We can happily tick that one off the list. So next things next, then I'm going to show you guys how to generate these policies for you guys that you can go ahead and use in your stores. So when you're creating your T's and C's, refund policy and privacy policy, then you want to make sure you've got two windows open. So you want one on the settings screen, then I'm just going to head back on this one, and you want one on your pages screen as well, because what we're going to do is we're just going to copy and paste things across rather than navigate between the different menus. So we'll start with the privacy policy then. So back to our settings. So we're on our settings menu, and we're going to go ahead and click on this legal section here, and this takes us to this screen. And Shopify is really good for this, is it gives us pre-written ones that we can go ahead and use on our store. So we said privacy policy, so we're going to create that, and all we're going to do then is simply copy and paste it across. In fact, we'll create all of these. We'll do the privacy policy first and copy and paste that across. Click save. Now, one thing to mention is it is a bit of a time-consuming thing to do, but I recommend reading through all of these just to make sure there's no information in there that you don't want to be in there, and just to make sure that you can keep to what you're promising your customers essentially. In the refund policy as well, you want to make sure that's accurate to what you want to offer, and within there as well it does include your address and contact details, so you want to make sure that they're correct and they're the actual ones that you're happy to go ahead and put on your site for your customers to see. So we're nearly there. Then we've got our privacy and refund policy, and last one terms of service. So as you can see, it's got my name and there's certain information in there, so I do recommend actually reading through each and every one. We'll put that in, save. We'll save those as well. Now let's open up our store. So we've got our home screen then looking pretty good. If we head to the bottom now, if we click on refund policy, as you can see, it's now opened that up, which is brilliant, because customers coming on now, they can safely and clearly check out what our terms and conditions are, etc. And it looks just more legit and like a more professional business. So with those pages created, then we can go ahead and tick them off our list. And there we go. We're getting through this now, and moving on to shipping rates and settings then. So this is more of like the back end stuff that's really important, actually really critical that you get this right, because this can effectively put off customers if you don't have the right settings in place. So I'm just going to go ahead and take you through all these different setting options quickly. So starting on the first one then, so general, all this stuff is personal to you. So this is the store address that's going to be in your terms of service, refund policy, etc. So make sure that's relevant to whatever you want that to be. And then standards and formats, again, whatever you choose that to be, self-explanatory. And of course, store currency, whatever you want to sell your products in, just make sure you have the required and relevant settings selected. Moving on then, payment providers, again, this is very, very, very important. Make sure you complete the account setup so you can receive Shopify payments correctly. Again, this is all personal information relevant to you, so I'm not going to show you guys how to fill that one out. Just make sure you do that. And PayPal as well, make sure you've got that linked to your PayPal account, because again, from personal experience, actually, it's somewhere between 60 and 70% of my orders, people do actually pay through PayPal. So if you don't have a PayPal account, make sure you get one, and make sure you link it to your stores, because you will lose sales if you don't have PayPal set up. Amazon Pay then, to be honest, I've never used it on one of my stores. I've not seen the need to, but at the end of the day, it's not going to harm you either, so feel free to go ahead and use it if you want to. Alternative payments then, again, if you're living in the UK, then you won't see a need for this. This tends to be for people living outside of the UK or outside of the US, where things like PayPal aren't supported. Manual payments then, again, there's no need to take any notes of this unless you plan on selling in person and actually taking payments manually, then you don't need to take any notice of that. And then payment authorization, then just make sure that's on automatic, because you don't have to manually accept or as it says there, capture payments for each and every order. Moving on then, so into the checkout settings. Again, these are all very important because these can actually be barriers between customers actually spending money with you or not spending money with you. So customer accounts then, I always leave that as disabled just because I want as little barriers and as little options or questions that the customer has to select or answer before they make a purchase. It's just extra time, somebody has to think about something, so they've got more chance of being distracted or more chance of putting them off and not actually buying anything. So my personal preference then is to leave that disabled. Custom contact then, I only put email on this because I always want to make sure I've got a customer's email. That way I can follow up with them later down the line and try and sell them more things. Additional contact method then, customers can choose to add a phone number or email to receive shipping updates after they complete their order. I tend not to use that. I don't see a need for it. Form options then, again, I try and put it in a way that I need as little information as possible from a customer, because that way I think they're going to be more comfortable about spending money with you. They don't want to give away loads and loads of information, so just make sure you get the necessary information. So last name only, company name hidden, address line 2, we always put that as optional because for people who have weird addresses, then it just gives them that extra line to put more information in. Shipping address, phone number, and then I put hidden. We don't need somebody's phone number, so I'm not going to ask for it. And then moving on to address and order processing. So the standing settings are pretty good. I always leave the shipping address as default the same as the billing address because, again, it's going to save the customer time having to fill out 2 addresses. But just in case they do need to edit it, the option is there. I don't have a confirmation step just purely because, again, it's just extra time, extra buttons the customer has to click. And then auto completion is good because, if anything, it's only going to save the customer time. And then after an order has been paid, then I do not want to automatically fulfill any of the orders because we're going to be doing that through Oberlo. So leave that as do not automatic. And then after an order has been fulfilled and paid, then archive the order. What that essentially does is it takes it off your radar. When you have orders, you'll have a number on the top left next to this orders button, and when an order is archived, that number goes down. So essentially it just ticks it off your list and just shows it as fulfilled, it's been dispatched, and you essentially then don't have to do anything. So email marketing wise, then we'll leave that as is because we always want to give customers the option to leave their email address with us, so we can go ahead and send them emails later on down the line and effectively try and sell them more products. Checkout language then, for the most part you don't have to worry about this. However, there is one thing that you do need to change on your store, and it's quite a handy little thing, a handy little tip, and then believe it or not, it will increase your conversion rate. So I'll show you actually effectively on the store, and it's when you're on your cart page, this little message here, so taxes included but shipping at checkout. Taxes are irrelevant to our customer. They don't want to know about taxes, and they don't want to be thinking about being charged shipping or what is shipping. And it's just more likely to put them off. They're going to be thinking, I don't want to pay shipping, and they might just abort the whole purchase process right there and then. So we're just going to change that message to something a bit more friendlier. So we're in our checkout language then. We'll go on the cart language. And as you can see, this is the message here, and we're just going to put it to something a bit more friendlier. So free shipping on all orders. Make sure we go ahead and click save, and then so translation's updated. Let's reload this page, and it should change it. Free shipping on all orders. So as you can see, it looks a lot better. Anyone reading that, if anything, it's going to encourage them to keep on going and actually complete the purchase process. So that's the checkout language done and the settings for checkout done. We'll move on to the shipping rates then. So this is something I get asked quite a lot for help with. So starting from the top then, shipping origin, make sure that's your UK address, not your Chinese factory address. It's not relevant, to be honest, because it's only going to be used to calculate shipping rates, but we're going to be setting those manually anyway. So just make sure that's your UK address. Shipping rates at checkout then. So to start with, I'm just going to go ahead and delete these because they're pretty much irrelevant to begin with. So I'm just going to delete them. We're going to edit that and delete that. And we're just going to start from the beginning. So add shipping zone. And depending on where you want to sell to begin with, I only recommend sticking to one country. So just put whatever country you're going to be selling to and focusing on, use that as your main shipping zone, if you like. So zone name then, so customers won't see this. Make sure it's something relevant to you. I'm just going to be using UK. Add countries, like I said, just stick to the one and only country you're going to be shipping to begin with. And then price-based rates. What you can do here then is you can choose whether to base a price on the order value or what the order weighs. But to be honest, I always offer free shipping. So that's what I'm going to tell them I'm offering, and just put free shipping. Customers are going to see this at checkout as it says there, so make sure it's something relevant. So minimum order 0, maximum order 0, and I'm going to make it free shipping rate, and that's going to be done. And I'm just going to leave that as it is and save that. So effectively then what that's done is, in fact I might as well show you on your store. It's not going to let me show you guys because I haven't selected the plan yet, but basically what it does is anyone buying something from the UK and having it shipped to the UK will be able to complete the purchase process and they'll get free shipping. But anyone else trying to get it shipped to a different country, it won't let them. So if you do want to be able to ship multinationally, then all you simply do is add another shipping zone. Call it whatever you like, and just make sure you add the countries that you want to ship to, and it really is that easy. So I'll give an example for you guys then, just in case you do want to ship to multiple countries. Let's say we're going to ship to America, then we're going to do the US as well, but we're going to charge the Americans some money if they want to shop with us. So all 62 United States, and we're going to have a price-based rate. And what we're going to do then is we're going to make sure that they have to spend more in order to get free shipping. So we'll have US standard shipping, and this is going to cost them £10, and they have to spend £50, up to £50. If they spend anywhere under £50, then they're going to have to pay £10 for shipping. And then we can add another rate. We can have this US free shipping. Minimum is £50 and a penny. And in that, if they spend over that, then they'll get US free shipping, which is a free shipping rate. And we can save that. So essentially what that's done then is it allows people from America to ship with us, but if they spend anything under £50, they will pay £10 for shipping, and anything they spend over £50, they will get free shipping. So that's shipping rates then. Hopefully that's nice and simple for you guys. Unless you're actually buying products in bulk and sending them out yourself, then to be honest, you can ignore all of this. So that's the shipping rates then. There's a few other setting screens to run through. I'm just going to go through them pretty quickly because I don't believe there's many that are relevant now, and I'm a bit concerned about the length of this video. So taxes wise then, all taxes are included in my prices. Just make sure you've got that selected. You don't want customers to be hit with any additional taxes at checkout that they're not expecting. Locations wise, that's not important because it's set already. Notifications wise then, all the standard ones that Shopify has set up are perfectly adequate for now, so you don't have to worry about those. Files wise, again, you don't have to worry about any of this just yet, not unless you go into advanced programming and actually add in custom pages and certain things like that. You can leave that alone. Sales channels then, as a beginner, again, nothing to really worry about. You can add Facebook and other sales channels, but I won't go into this video unless you guys want me to. If you do, again, any feedback, make sure you leave comments down below. Account then, again, there's nothing to really change in here. And then billing and legal, I'll show you billing, but again, there's nothing here that I need to show you guys. So back to our little process, and that is shipping rates and settings ticked off now. So only a few things left to go. I'm just going to check how long this video is. So we've just hit just over 50 minutes. By the time I edit the video, it might be a bit less. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. I feel like we're in a pretty good place. There's a few little things to go through now, and we'll be able to get it finished off in the next video. So that's it for this video then, guys. If you're still watching, then I want to hear from you guys. Make sure you leave a comment below. It'll be really interesting to know how many of you actually watched the video this far in. If you are watching still, then thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And that being said then, guys, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.